Greetings and salutations, everyone. I have a really strange one here, from a few weeks back, or maybe even months back. I don't know exactly what to say about this one. When I did my 3 months of just focusing in on the 80s, I came across a film which had really thrown me for a loop, in a way, or I don't know. Anyways, for this entry, I finally checked out X-tro from 1983. It may also be listed as 1982, I think, depending on where it was released at the time. But I picked this one solely because I had never gotten around to seeing it back in the day, but I'd always wanted to, based just on the VHS cover of it. This was another one of those where the cover looked interesting, but it was always checked out or had been damaged and was just never removed from the shelf, I guess. But what is this film about? Well, the synopsis, and you'll see why I'm acting so strange in this opening, is as follows. An alien creature impregnates a woman who gives birth to a man who was abducted by aliens 3 years ago. The man reconnects with his wife and son for a sinister purpose. Now, the thing is, this may sound strange, but the film is much stranger than that synopsis, both in the in general plot and the execution. So much so that I'm not really sure if I liked it or not. I'm not sure if I would watch it again or not. Not sure if I would really recommend it or not, because, you know, after a while I just couldn't really take in all that I was seeing. So while I'm struggling to put words to this film, let me just say that, you know, sometimes I take notes, and other times I just want them to be kind of like mental notes or whatever, so I don't look away from the film to write something down too much. So in those cases, sometimes I just revisit a couple of plot points from like Wikipedia. You know, I just kind of do a rundown, make sure there wasn't anything in the film that I wanted to speak about that I would forget to write something about it, you know, to bring up, something to touch on. Just like a quick reminder. And this article reads like a rambling mess of like a kid playing with toys, literally in one portion. So I'll link to the article in the description, and I'll probably just paste the whole plot part of that article in the description as well, because it's really strange. But getting into it, yeah, at its core, this, you know, the most basic point of this is that there's a man who's abducted by aliens, and then years later, an alien returns, impregnates a woman, and within a really short time, like a few minutes or hours, she swells up, bursts open, giving birth to a fully formed grown man, the man who was abducted. Then he kind of works his way to finding his son and his wife, who has moved on and has a new boyfriend. He has no memory of what happened to him. Simply, he was gone and he found his way back. He just has no memory, and strange things start to happen. Mainly in really odd behavior, but eventually in odd occurrences in general in these scenes, which seem completely random, like some kid playing with toys and making up a story as they go along, like that old comedy Dude, Where's My Car, where it just seemed like every scene they're like, let's just throw this into it. This is what a lot of this actual plotline felt like. So this happens, and then this happens, but somehow this guy said that, and then this thing happened, and then it's just all over the place. So to give an example from the Wikipedia article, and I swear this is true, this is what actually happens, you know, at one point in the film, I'll read just a portion regarding the man, Sam, and his son, Tony, which states, after Tony sees Sam eating eggs of his pet snake, Sam comforts him and drinks his blood. Tony soon discovers he has paranormal powers, which he uses to send a human-sized toy soldier to slaughter a neighbor who killed his snake and bring a toy clown to life. The entire film feels like this, just like random scenes, you know, no doubt interesting, and of course, being early 80s, you know, it's all practical and it succeeds in a few areas, such as how detailed and gross some of it is, that gross gooiness of it all, and while it is all over the place, each scene individually really pulls you in simply by how bizarre it is. Such as this scene involving the kid, Tony, and the boyfriend of Annalise, who's like an au pair or like babysitter, her boyfriend, and his father, Sam, and mother, Rachel. Regarding Annalise, Tony sends a toy tank to attack her boyfriend, Michael, who is killed by a panther as he tries to flee. Meanwhile, Sam and Rachel make love at the farm and his skin starts to bleed and decompose. I mean, it's just kind of mind-bending, you know, using the kid playing with a toy, telling a story kind of analogy again. You know, I couldn't help but take it in a way as if a kid was telling me a story about his toys, and all you can do as they are kind of explaining it is you just say, oh, really? Oh, wow, that is really cool. And wait, what happened now? Yeah, that's a really cool story, kid. it's kind of like that the entire time of this film. By the time it was done, you know, I did have some notes kind of scribbled down here and there and some mental notes taken. I tried writing sometime the next day, but just couldn't really pull it together to really get any words together in a way which would make any sense. Even after revisiting the plot point by point on Wikipedia, I really didn't know what to say about it. I'd even recorded a video simply of reading that Wikipedia article to kind of amplify how weird it was, but even after that, it didn't really seem worth editing so I'd just kind of put it off. But I figured I would give it another try here, because in summary, before wrapping up this short and rambling video, I always wanted to see this one. The VHS box looked kind of cool and lame at the same time, kind of hard to explain, but it was always mysteriously either rented out or likely damaged. I'd only ever seen it at one video store. Viper Video got a copy that they posted about, and the sequels, which, yes, there were some sequels to it, and I wasn't sure if I should just like bite the bullet and pick it up, but it did remind me to kind of track it down and give it a watch, finally. The entire idea is interesting, you know, the sci-fi horror of this alien abduction film, where you get this weird idea, not of a man just coming back, but, you know, with these alien tendencies and powers, but how he comes back, you know, being born in this really gross way. The appearance of these powers and the behavior, you know, how they relate to his son, and especially how all of this kind of manifests throughout the story, is truly random and almost laughable in a few ways. But putting all that together, I guess it's kind of worth checking out, maybe? And speaking of checking out, thanks for checking out this, probably my most rambling video for X-tro from 1983. Again, it's really hard to put much to this one. It is very interesting, at least, but it is very bizarre. At the time of this video, it's not on streaming services anywhere, but I did find it on YouTube. It was posted there twice, so there must be some sort of a licensing issue going on where nobody owns the rights to post it on a streaming service, but nobody's taking it down from YouTube. So I'll link to one of those in the description as well if you want to check that out. So, you know, if up for that strangeness, head on over to one of those links, check it out, and yeah, it's very weird. But anyways, that's all that I got for this one. Thanks for coming by and sticking around to the end. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up, and if not already subscribed, consider subscribing, and both checking out my back catalog and coming by every now and then. And this isn't just me. I've seen this strange YouTube activity happening for a lot of other channels as well, where for some reason the traffic is plummeting. Videos aren't showing up on people's feed. I know they're not showing up on mine. The thumbnails are so big, we're only getting a few of them on that main screen, and I'm missing videos from creators that I follow where I have to just make a mental note to go by their channel once a week and see what they've been posting to catch up, rather than relying on YouTube to show it to me, or even for that bell icon to work. But it still helps every now and then. Anyways, that's all I got for this admittedly strange Friday video. Thanks for coming by, and I will see you in the next one.